NSC Fan TV, Drew here with Scott.
Hey!
A couple days after a 3-1 victory over DC United.
Yeah!
A brace by Mukhtar and a goal early by Lovitz. That big lefty.
Big lefty!
Big lefty.
Big lefty.
I love it.
Yeah, watching him, because that ball just bounced so perfectly
Yep.
to Lovitz. And he was like, am I going to strike it with my left?
I want to strike it.
Here he comes! Here he comes!
He struck with the left. That was an excellent strike. I don't even think he celebrated much after. I think he was like, "Damn, I did good."
Yeah,
let's keep our heads in the game.
That's right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I think it was like at the 8th minute or something like that.
Yeah.
So not deep in, and so yeah, don't want to over celebrate or anything like that and lose the focus. But I think that there was a Men in Blazers show about something like scoring too early or something like that. It was like, you scored too early and then you kind of lose your focus. But yeah, so
he kept his damn head in the game. I was very ecstatic about his performance. I thought he had a great game. I think he locked it down, and I think coming forward, I think that was one of Lovett's best games, honestly.
I thought he looked great, and I thought that again the goal sort of makes everything look different, right? The goal makes everything look different, but it changed the way that they were playing too. I mean, even after that goal, they played and they immediately started pressing their offense and playing very very impatiently with their midfield, which played right into McCarty and Davis's hands.
I was gonna say they had no problems that game. I think we saw a lot of one-touch passes too, especially from Dax going forward.
Yeah,
I think like that final goal was pretty much just that.
Yeah,
it felt like tiki-taka style, like just carving them up, one pass, don't even get a whole touch on it, just pretty much pass it right off, one touch pass, back to the net by Mukhtar.
Back to the net. And so let's talk about, in some ways, the really just absolutely team effort goal.
Yes.
So the ball came up, and McCarty was really just sort of put on some burners.
Yeah.
To get into that space. Not what so again, not to take away from anything from Dax's game, but that's not a part of his game that we regularly see. We'll just put it that way.
I think that's right. Yeah. I mean,
but what, like, showing that, like, a burst of speed.
That was,
and then on top of that, again, it's just another bit of testament to his soccer intelligence.
Yep.
To be burning hard like that, to get onto a ball under those conditions, and still be able to make the pass.
That's all about knowing where your people are and knowing where they're at. So I think from Dax's game, the only two things I'd point out, and of course no player is going to have all the strong suits at every time, but it's his aerial prowess. It's not there, and he's just not. He didn't have burners usually. Yeah, he's usually it's about positioning for him.
Right.
It's about captaincy. It's about communication and knowing where people are and making the most of that. But I think we saw a burst of speed exactly when he needed to put it down. So
I'm going to say one quick thing about McCarty's captaincy, and it was that not but about 10 minutes in, we saw a yellow card come for a foul on Mukhtar. And this was after about two quick fouls, and Dax had talked to the ref. And then the ref pointed to spots on the field where Mukhtar had been fouled.
Yeah.
And he made it very clear that he wasn't going to put up. And so this has been a long-standing complaint of mine. Hani is a slight guy, and he runs a lot. And so as a consequence, a couple knocks here and there over the course of a 90-minute game is going to just wear on him. And I think that defenses play like that. They're just like, look, this foul isn't about now. This foul wasn't about dispossessing you. This foul was making it so that your heel is going to be hurting whenever we hit 70.
And the thing is, and I think with players, I'm thinking of Mukhtar, I'm thinking of Wilfried Zaha for Crystal Palace.
Yeah, right.
That's heavy step over play, hold up play, getting the ball on the wing and kind of just keeping it until you can pass it off and run into the box. Players like that get fouled all the time.
A lot. Yes, if it weren't for Jack Grealish's punchable face, he would have been the most fouled player in the Premiership for like the last 3 years going. I think that's was like 1-2, Grealish at 1, and then Grealish, because he didn't play for Man City, didn't.
He went away from what to sit on the bench for City, but I guess that's, I don't know. But anyway,
you win the league like that. So I think that he's in some ways someone who because of the way he plays, because of where he plays, gets fouled a lot, and because he's a slight guy, and because of the fact that he has to be quick. He doesn't just get fouled a lot, he gets fouled in ways that look like they're strategic. And so I was pleased to see that Dax get in the referee's ear and let him know that that's a problem and that he needs to be keeping an eye on it. And the referee heard him.
Because repeated fouls are a thing, and that can get other teams in trouble when they're doing that. If the ref notices and makes point of, you guys have been just harassing this player, you're making it dangerous for him to have the ball even.
That's right.
But speaking of yellows, we collected quite a few of those, didn't we?
Yeah, some unhappy ones. And,
we saw Zimmerman get a yellow. We saw Romney got a yellow, I think that was.
That's correct.
We saw a few other players got yellows, too.
Put a note down on this one.
We saw Nunga get a yellow when he came on.
That's right.
Nunga got a yellow, which you kind of expect him to collect the yellow.
Gotta get into this game, man.
I gotta make my mark. I gotta make my mark. But a lot of yellows that game. That's probably my only negative point besides their goal on us. But.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, let's. So I think that in a previous video, I think maybe with Jason, I was like, I still am committed to this even after watching a little bit of this on television. Mm-hmm. Thought that their goal was really a thing of beauty for them, and if I were a neutral, I'd have been like that. That was a really nice bit of play because they changed the geometry of our defense. There was just some good dribbling and some nice passing.
And Taxi Fontas being the kind of dangerous player he is, he was honestly my only real worry going into this game. And so he's
on the backside. And so on top of all of that, he again. Defense all got sort of changed up because of them holding and dribbling at a kind of at an angle, and that just changed the way everyone was lined up. Zimmerman chased him. That's I was blaming him for him. I don't think that it's a blameworthy move. It was just a really what happened was that he just got pulled out of the middle, and then everybody came over. And
Zimmerman couldn't stop that cross either. That was one thing I noticed. The ball coming in or the cross, he was kind of flat-footed on both of those. And I don't think that's a knock against Zimmerman's defending per se. It's just wrong moment, wrong time. Maybe I'm playing like good guy here and just siding with NSC no matter what. But I felt like he did get caught out, Zimmerman, but I think it happens sometimes.
It happens sometimes, and so I mean, if it were a closer game, maybe playing super conservatively and again playing more team D. I keep having this sort of complaint about Zimmerman. So his game is almost flawless, but he's got an excellent he's an excellent player. But there's a vice that comes along with being an excellent player, and it's that you think that you can do it all.
And for a central defender, I mean,
so he thinks I can make this gamble. There have been a handful, there are just a handful of these players who, because of the fact that they're better than most of the other folks around them individually, they think that they can get out there and if I'm going to catch you one-on-one, I'm going to beat you. And that is a good test sometimes. But other teams play with offenses and multiple players and things like that.
And you've got a player like Taxi Fontas who's just going to be a shark and be in the right spot when he needs to be.
So this is a small-ish thing, but it is a trouble with someone who's a central defender who gets that I'm just gonna do it. Damn it, I'm gonna do it myself.
Yep.
And
center back,
it's a team game.
You don't expect that from a center back. I've got to say that's the thing about Zimmerman's play is that you love it when you see it and it works. Yeah. But as a center back, usually that's one of the most conservative roles in soccer.
Right.
You stick in your position and you do your thing.
Right.
Even at this point, keepers end up doing more distribution.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nowadays.
But, and he had some great vision. He had great passes up the field.
Oh,
and there were a number of times wherever he chased balls down that would have required like a sort of 110% effort from another player.
Oh yeah.
And he handled that. And so, this complaint comes in the context of us making sense of their goal. And it's been, on the one hand, with him sort of saying, I'm just going to go get him.
Yep.
Or saying, I'm going to be more active in bringing the ball forward.
Yep.
And then he's out of position. So, these are small things. These I think are sort of, film room kind of conversations.
Yeah, but they're not things that I think are damning to like his career or his trajectory for us, which I think have been excellent.
And I mean, overall, I'll take that.
I'll take that over a whole lot of other central defenders. I thought Zimmerman was great performance overall for sure. But do you think Mukhtar's back in form?
Is Mukhtar back in form? Hey man, a brace is hard to argue with. The second goal was kind of wacky. I mean, he struck it, and it takes this sort of insane bounce and then loop up, and deflection and then loop up.
Little stroke of luck, but
But you know what? Sometimes being informed means that you are in a good. You're playing well, and you're able to take advantage of whenever you're lucky. So sometimes being good makes being lucky more. It makes you more lucky because you're just able to take advantage of 50-50s or
yeah.
So yeah, look, I think that he's looking great. What the question is, what's Wednesday going to look like? What's that lineup going to look like?
And that's where I'm thinking we're going to stick with something like what I thought we saw in this game, which is more of a 3-4-3.
3-4-3.
Leao was out in the middle, which always means he's going to be in that more attacking role.
You think we're going to see more than 45 minutes from Leao?
I think I want
to see 90 from Randall. I want to see a 90 from Randall. I want to see 90 from
Randall. I think he's probably in shape for it. He seemed like he was running just fine. I didn't see any issues. I mean,
it's a huge investment. It's a huge investment, especially given the fact that we've got to play on the weekend.
It's quick turnaround,
right? Yeah. But yeah, I'd love to see 90 from Randall. But hey, we've got to be careful. He's coming back in.
You don't want to stretch it. That's the thing. It may have looked fine on TV, but
yeah,
So
we saw a really short shift from Loba. We saw a really pretty short shift from Hackinson.
We did. And we saw a rude comment from somebody on TV who said after he cracked it, and I think, hey, you tried doing this in a professional soccer game. He said, that's why you don't start. And I think, have you ever struck the ball like that? You've got to get it just right, man. A little too far back and you're skying it. That's not easy. So I thought that was disrespectful. But
yeah, I think that trash talk in games happens.
It happens, but That was loud enough for me to hear it on
television, right? A lot of folks at home were able to hear it.
Yeah.
So, I think that. So for me, there were two big takeaways from this game.
Okay.
The Leal's positivity on the goal, and then Leal's forward play to again a lot of positive play from Leal, but then he was the one who really created the chance to put that ball up to McCarty, who then made that. So I think that's big takeaway number one. And big takeaway number two was not just Dan Lovitz's goal, but I thought that he locked down. I mean, there's what was his name? I forget, it's 31. They're super Gressel.
Gressel,
super technically smart and canny player, and the person who's sort of playing a little bit out on the right, and so he was regularly matched up with Lovitz. So Lovitz not only got that goal, but I thought that he did a great job keeping Gressel in check. He's just such a technically gifted player and someone who can loft smart balls and sort of make smart plays, and he did not have the effect on the game that I was worried that he would. And so props to Dan Lovitz, not just for the goal, but also for that locking play that he had on Gressel.
Keeping his head in the game.
Yeah, keep your head in the game.
I got to say something by way of just MLS news, though.
MLS news.
If you're watching at home, you saw that they mentioned a few players going to LAFC.
Oh, my God.
And I got to say, I'm a bit worried.
Man, so first off...
I got to say, I'm a bit worried, man.
So, we all know that look, Chiellini's a fantastic defender, and but I think the MLS is just such a fast league.
It is. And Italian soccer is a lot more conservative. It's a lot more, so...
he's going to get left in the dust. He's going to show up, and Carlos Vela is going to mag him. Carlos Vela is going to mag him. He's going to be like, "What are you doing?"
He's like a classic like Spanish Italian defender who just like, I mean, and then we got Bale.
And so, what a bunch of starfuckers they are in LA. I mean, what?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
What a bunch of starfuckers they are.
Designating those like.
Well, I don't think right now
spots,
neither
like,
of those two I think are in their DP spots.
Really?
Yeah, neither in their DP spots. They have
really.
Yeah, so I think that they've got one coming open. So one of those two might take the DP spot. I think that Bale is just looking for a place to keep him sharp so that he can play in the World Cup, and then he might just retire.
And his career has been marked by a lot of groin injury too. I think that's one thing that I'm like.
I just hope that so here's my hope for Gareth Bale.
Yeah.
I hope that he plays a lot of really excellent golf. I know everyone
as a Welsh guy.
Well, as everyone who's a Real fan knows, Bale. There are more photos of Bale stroking a ball on a golf course than he is on a soccer field. So that's what That's my hope. That's my hope for LAFC and Gareth Bale is that his golf game really gets great.
His golf game is going to be excellent.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm. For as much as I like the idea of these sort of
big name
stars, autumn time of their career European stars coming to the MLS, I have to so it's big news, but on the other hand, it's old news. It's like the MLS is sort of like a golden years pastures for so many of these European for these European stars. And on the one hand, it's great that we get to see them, and we get to see them while they're while they've still got a little bit of shine. But on the other hand, I'm just annoyed because the MLS, the product of the MLS. So like, here's a simple fact: Hani Mukhtar is a class player, and he came to the United States and is improving over here. He's on the upside. MLS squads should be looking for people who are on the upside, not
in there. Right. Yeah, and I think that's it might be kind of a popularity contest for LFC to get those players because Kyliani just won the UEFA League Cup with Italy, and then Gareth Bale's a recognizable Real Madrid player. Yeah, but that seems like a popularity stunt, and I'm.
Maybe just another one of these cases where they're like, I mean, isn't that just an LA thing? I mean, it's like it's an LA thing,
West
right?
Coast shot,
Ibrahimovic goes and plays for the Galaxy for a year and says nasty stuff about Vela. But this is the problem. I mean, the MLS will always be the place where if Zlatan shows up, he's going to say something nasty about the leading scorer in the MLS because it's not the league that he played in whenever he was on his way up. It's in the league that he plays in when he's in his golden years. Yeah. And if we continue to be a golden year league, that slur that Zlatan had against Vela 3 years ago or 2 years ago is going to still stick. Why? Because look at New York City, the City Squad at City, like at New York, would be like Pirlo, and didn't Kaka play for them?
David
Villa played for them, and they're all these sort of I love me some motherfucking Pirlo.
No, I'm with you.
It just makes me angry. Like the MLS doesn't need to be that anymore. The MLS is its own league. Yeah. Why does it have to be this like sort of golden years league? It just bothers me.
It feels like a popularity stunt by LAFC to acquire players.
And it's because we do this to us. And that's the thing that's the most infuriating thing is that like if it was befalling us, we'd be like, but like we're actively this to us.
Actively talking about it and saying, and some people saying it's a good thing. Even I mean,
is it?
I don't think so. I think.
Will we get more eyes to watch a Gareth Bale who's in better shape for playing golf?
I mean, the thing is, I'm gonna be honest. If you look at his trajectory at Real Madrid, it's groin injury.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
He's always fucking hurt. So I don't even know why they'd want him other than popularity contest. Or to play golf. Maybe the pastures are greener over here. I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. So I'm, and we're gonna have to play him twice, and so and I'm gonna just come out to it. I hate the man bun.
he did it before it was cool. I gotta say he did. I'm with you, but he did.
It was never cool, Andrew.
It
was never cool. It
That's
was
fair.
never cool.
That's fair. That's fair. It probably wasn't. Hold on a second though.
Yeah.
When Zimmerman has his hair up though.
I don't care for the man bun. I don't care for that.
I don't know, man.
If I were him, I'd be playing with the long, flowing.
The flowy.
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
Embrace
man.
the Thor. Like,
The
what's
Thor.
with the whatever? Like,
Thor's hammer.
Play and dress as you are comfortable and so on. So I'm going after Gareth Bale's appearance. I should just go after the fact that he can't get along with coaches, and Zidane effectively was like, just go play golf. I can't use you. So whatever. I mean, the thing that bothers me is the fact that we make these signings and it's for these sort of, again, these big names and I'm just,
we don't need to be that, and I think honestly we aren't that. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. When we look at players like Mukhtar and their uprise in NSC, you're just like, we're really not that.
We're a great place for people to come. Yeah, for people to come into their own, right? And for people to get to a point where they can start making contributions on the level that they need to be making it.
Yep.
And so NSC is a place where we've got a lot of players who play for their national teams, and maybe you're getting on there on the radar for further ones. So I'm annoyed by that, and so good for LAFC and good for them. They'll sell a lot of jerseys or whatever.
They might, but I don't think it's worth the autumnal career story.
They're ugly jerseys anyhow, so fuck that.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I don't like their jerseys.
Yeah, I'm not with it.
Yeah.
I like the gold, but that's it.
Okay, we good?
I said my piece.
I don't know. I'm not done griping about the MLS and this sort of starfucker thing, but
I'm with you though.
I'll have other chances to talk.
I'd rather players like Busio who go on their rise here and then maybe go off if things so line up.
That bothers me too, but
really,
yeah,
the going off part.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, it's like, can't you get better? You can get better in the MLS. Or it's like, well, I'm gonna get to the point where it's like I get picked up by a middling Italian squad. We're like, what the fuck?
Okay,
like, why don't you come over here and make an MLS squad really good?
Well, and that was my complaint. That
bothers me too.
Maybe I'm.
We're like, he's got really good, so he should go. He should. Like, maybe you should. Maybe instead, hey, we were really good. Why don't you play for a team and have him win an MLS Cup? Why don't you do that?
You're right, and this is my. That's
another one of these sort of little sister league problems.
Yeah,
it's like,
we'll take your spot.
We'll take your second
feeder league.
Yeah, we'll take your stars on the way down, and we'll send you stars while they're on the way up. That's where we're at, but the thing is that MLS has clearly got enough money to be able to compete with them. We've got the money to be able to do it. We just need to grow this league, and growing the league. Yeah. Maybe growing the league is star fucking, but I don't think so. I think that just keeps us as a second place league.
You're right. Now even the Busio story ends up at the same point.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's like, we're an excellent feeder league. We're like we're college football. It's like, yes, we produced our #1 draft pick.
That's not not the story we want for MLS.
Well, you know what? Maybe it's the story that we have to become okay with. But I think that every time that we tell this story, where it's like, oh my gosh, we just got another aging star to come and play for us for 2 years,
or having a young wonder kid go off.
Yeah. And either of those two cases were there ones where we should be eyes open to the conflictedness or the sort of the duality, the dualness of that news. The good news is that we're producing good folks. The bad news is that at the very least the perception is for them to get better and
then to go off to Europe. I mean, and that's what I'm from Kansas City. That's what Sporting KC fans have been saying for a while, that Busio is just gonna, go off to Europe somewhere. I mean, that's what happened, and it's almost tragic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why can't we be the place where we make people who do that?
And
where Clint Dempsey gets to be Clint Dempsey, and dirty Clint Dempsey, who plays the U.S. and strikes fear into the heart of all. Like, why can't be the place where Landon Donovan gets to be Landon Donovan, strikes the heart into fear into the heart of every Mexican fan? So the Mexico fan. That's the league that I want us to be. And
that's right. I gotta eat my words on the Busio statement. I think you're right.
But I'm not saying that we have to keep everyone here. It just
it's not the story we want to tell. Yeah. It's not the kind of situation we want. You're right.
Okay, now I'm done.
On a negative note, with the victory 3-1 over DC United. Hey, I opened that can of worms.
The good news is that if we were complaining or just complaining about the league, that's actually good news for NSC fans.
I was gonna say, we've got good things to say about NSC. Not so great things to say about the acquisitions in LA.
Yeah. But no, those star fuckers.
Honestly, yeah. When I saw it, I was like, why do you even want... Oh, that's why you want them.
Yeah, okay. Right. You're going to sell some jerseys.
They're going to sell some jerseys.
All right, I'm done.
LAFC's going to sell some jerseys.